Hello everybody, my name is Paul Pelletier, Product Manager for Controller Solution at Martin Professional, and I'd like to welcome you to this Martin webinar. Today we're going to present you two new products, the M1 HD and the M2 Go HD. First, let's start with the M1 HD. The original M1 came out in 2010. At the time it actually was the most successful console Martin ever made. And the main reason for that is we came up with a console at the time that has a very nice layout with a lot of playbacks, really well spread, very good ergonomics on it, and people really like that. And it's been going on for 6 years now. The M1 is still doing very good. But over time, of course, we got some feedback from you guys and users. And the two main comments that kept coming is, can we have a better screen, brighter screen, and can we have a faster, like more powerful console so it's faster and it does more universes. But at the same time, it was important that we keep the same size because that was really appreciated, and the price range also was really important to keep it in the same price range. So we've listened and we delivered. We're delivering now the M1 HD. So it's got the same nice user interface, so the front panel, but we have this bright multi-touch screen as well as a built-in processor that is capable of doing 40 universes. So let's look at it in more details. As I just mentioned, if you look at the front panel, it is very familiar to what you've seen before because we kept it exactly the same. But the most obvious change on the console is the screen. So this screen is based on the M6 design screen. So for those who are familiar with the M6, so it's a very bright and crisp screen. And the tactile surface in front is one generation ahead of what we use on the M6. It's got even more tactile resolution, and it's also more transparent glass, so it transmits more lights through it. So it makes the screen even brighter than what we have on the M6. Another aspect of the screen, something we kept from the original M1, is the fact that it can fold forward like this, and it creates this nice package that is very small, very compact, easy to travel with. And also you can adjust it to any angle you want here. So whether you're working standing or sitting, you can always find the right angle. Then we have added something to the screen as well on the side here. There are 4 encoders here. These 4 encoders, again, if you're familiar with the M6, you will remember that. They were in the front of the screen. This time they're positioned here on the side. So these screens are user-definable parameter encoders. As an example here, playing with gobos, 2 layers of gobos, without having to change parameter groups here, I can have direct access to my focus and my zoom, and I see the values right on the side of the screen. And there's also iris available and prism. So you always have access to these parameters. These are user-definable, so you can assign anything you want there. It could be, for example, color. It could be fanning. It could be FX control. It could be QLess speed, global speed effect. So you can really define whatever you want, and it's very easy to do that. The next big change we did is not seen from outside. It's what's inside is a processor. So we have a brand new motherboard. It's an industrial grade motherboard. It has a quad-core Intel Generation 6 processor, and also has 8 gigs of RAM and an mSATA 2 SSD drive. So it makes the console very fast. It boots under 1 minute, and it can even do all the way to 40 universes directly from the console without the need of any external processor. So that is a huge advantage. It simplifies everything. And it makes also, of course, the cost of the system a lot cheaper because you do all the calculation internally. There's no need for costly external processors. While also talking to people working, especially in the rental market, one thing that came on a regular basis is that consoles are different. Sometimes they have more, some have more options. There was the universes we talked about earlier. Also like time code and MIDI. So we've decided that now those options are now standard on the console. So you got your time code modules built in, your MIDI module is built in, so no more options there. Another change that we learned from the rental market is little lights. They get lost. So like we did on the M6, on the M1, the little lights are captive. They stay there. You cannot take them out. So no more stolen or lost little light. If I keep moving the console here, if we look at the back panel, so if we start, we have the power switch. Next change we did is the connector here. It's a true one connector, is what we use on all the moving lights at Martin now. It is becoming the standard in this industry. It's a very good connector, so we use that on the console now. Then next we have the MIDI modules here. Next here we have two display ports, so you can put two external screen, 1080p multi-touch screen at the same time. So of this one, so that means you have three screens in the end. So that is a lot of real estate for display. Next are the two network ports. So you have the Ethernet port, your Ether DMX for your ArtNet or your streaming ACN protocol. You have your a remote port to connect consoles together or to connect it to a Wi-Fi remote. 4 USB port, sound in and out, and then the next one is timecode. And this is also here for DMX output, DMX input, and the two connectors here are for external wings like the submaster wing or the playback 2 modules. Just a reminder, this is a prototype, so it doesn't have the silk print at the back yet. So if we just recap on what's included on the M1 HD, you have the LED lamps that are built in now, the SMT modules, MIDI modules, the Nerdtrick True 1 connector comes with the console. We also include a dust cover. That used to be an option as well. Now it's not. It's included in the box. And on top of that, we have added a 1 key inside the box when you buy it, and it has an MPC 64 Universes license, like a lifetime license, as well as an MSD Lite 1-year license on the key. So that's a really good bonus. So you can use that to program in your hotel room with a visualizer at home, and bring the show file to the console the next day and be ready for your show. The dimension of the M1 HD have remained more or less the same. There's a slight difference in the height with the screen, but then also the weight of the screen. The weight of the screen is a bit higher, so the entire weight of the console is also a bit higher, but very much in the same format as before. Where do we see this M1 HD being used? Well, it's very similar to the M1. It's one of those consoles that can be used anywhere. We've seen M1 doing on large tours as well as very small shows and corporate events and touring, nightclubs and house of worship, and a lot more. So it's a console that is very versatile. It has a lot of playback, so it can be used anywhere. It's and also a very easy console to use. So in conclusion, we have the same nice surface that we had on the M1, but we have a bright screen now, which is a multi-touch screen. So I'll give you an idea, so I can zoom in like this, I can move things around. So it's really a multi-touch screen. We also have this new processor inside that is capable of doing 40 universes and makes the whole console really, really fast. There's still 34 playbacks available on this console, built-in SMT and MIDI. There's 8 encoders now, the 4 here and the 4 on the side of the screen. 12 F keys, the trackball, there's the built-in desk lamp, and for a very good price. Let's move on to the M2 Go HD. So the original M2 Go was launched in 2012, and at the time we launched this console, it created a new type of consoles on the market. At the time, console of that size, they were all actually PC wings, so meaning that it was just a console a control surface that needed to be connected to a computer. And although it works well for if you're using your own computers, when you go into the rental market, they generally don't like to deal with computers. So we came up with the idea saying, hey, let's put a computer inside, so we'll have a nice little package. And we did that, and it was an immediate success as well. So, and since then, a lot of M2Gos went out. But over time, we got feedback saying, hey, why don't you have a screen? Well, in the beginning, it was simply not possible to put a screen on this. At the time, the technology, the cost was basically prohibited from doing it. Things have changed, and by doing this new screen for the M1 HD, we also applied the same screen on the M2Go HD. So we have this portable design with a beautiful screen, as well as a new built-in processor. I'm just going to go over that in a minute. That is capable of 20 universes. That in details, again, same surface as the M2Go, something that works really well. Everybody has always appreciate this. There's a lot of space between the buttons. It's not really a cramped surface. It's really well laid out. It's got this touchscreen, 3.5-inch touchscreen there, where all your parameters are displayed. But we have added this same beautiful screen. If I turn it on the side here, we have the 4 encoders. And if I fold it down here, you can see it makes a very nice, slick package. So that you can carry around. You can put that in a soft bag, bring that with you on the plane. So very small, compact console. Then inside, we've changed the processor as well. So it's a new, and again, industrial motherboard. It's it's a different processor than the M1, but it's also a Generation 6 Intel processor. And it's using 8 gig. It has 8 gigs of RAM and an mSATA 2 SSD drive. So it is capable of 20 universes, and it boots under 1 minute. So it's a very fast console. Like we did on the M1, you have MIDI and timecode built in. So that is now also standard, no more options there. And if I go around here, on the back you have still your power supply input, 4 DMX input. Next to this is a USB in. So this is the same as we had before, so you can still use an M2Go on a computer, with a computer as a wing if you want to. The screen will not be used, but the rest of the controls, the surface control, will work, so that is still possible. And then there's a 2 USB port, the 2 network ports like on the M1, and 2 HDMI port for external screens. So yes, you can put also 2 external multi-touch monitor on this console, so for a total of 3 screens. So what's included with the M2Go? You got the desk lamp, the SMT module, MIDI module, power supply, the dust cover also. So there's a dust cover for this console now. It's included in the box. And again, we have this one key with MPC 64 universes, like lifetime license, and an MSD 1-year license for the 3D visualizer. The dimension of the M2Go, same footprint as before, slightly higher due to the additional screen. And of course, same for the weight. It is heavier than before, but still very carryable, still something you can use as a carry-on a soft bag in a plane. So same with for the M1, we've seen the M2Go doing all kind of shows. So we expect that the M2Go HD will go even further into that with having the screen built in now. So everyday rental, nightclub touring, house of worship, corporate events, and so on. So it's again another very versatile console, very powerful now with 20 universes, so it can do even more than before. M2Go HD, very portable design, bright touchscreen, built-in 20 universes processor, 10 playbacks, 8 encoders instead of 4, the 3.5-inch touchscreen. There's 8 F keys and the built-in SMT and MIDI for a very good aggressive price again. So optional items for both M1 and M2Go HD. There will be a flight case available as an option for both consoles. Also, it is possible to add playback wings, so like the M-Play, the M-Touch, the Playback 2 modules, the Submaster modules can be used on either consoles and multiple sets. So these are really nice options if you need to have more playbacks. These are the ordering information, the part number. This is also available on our website in the product page. And if you need more information, we have a reference guide made for each product that is available on our webpage. So if you go to the respective product page for M1 HD or M2Go HD, scroll down all the way to the bottom and you'll see a download section. Click on this and you'll see there's a PDF there that you can download, and it has much more details on the consoles. If we look now at the M series as a family, it's getting quite interesting. We have a very nice product family from the M6, the M1 HD, the M2 Go HD, the Submaster modules, the playback modules, the M-Play, the M-Touch, and the MPC. All this together makes a very nice family. They all talk to each other. You can use any products with anyone there. Any show file can be moved from any of these consoles, and they always works. So it is a real console families.